I think it comes from that connection that we originally lost back in the day with brother Adam. I think it comes from there. I think us as human beings, we are longing to come back to that relationship with our Creator.
Welcome back to the Life Explored podcast. With me for this episode, I have Rodolfo Silva.
Hello.
Hello, Rodolfo. Thanks for coming on. So, Rodolfo is he's been a member of our church for 13 years going on, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Rodolfo is a husband. He's married to Fernanda since December 2012.
Yep.
He's a dad to 3 children, Isabella, Beatrice, and Gabriel.
Correct, yeah.
You're a bit of a home chef, is that right? I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, you're affectionately called the favorite chef by Fernando, I think. No?
Oh, that's high
Maybe
praise.
And you work as administrator right now. You work as administrator in an equipment repair company, working with clients like Nintendo and that kind of thing. So in terms of what you've achieved so far, you relocated, you and Fernando relocated to the UK sort of 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Or just shortly after you married, right? And moved from all the way from Bethlehem in Brazil, to Rugby, Warwickshire. He's a bilingual communicator, so fluent in Portuguese and English. Is that in any other languages?
I'm fluent in Portuguese.
Right.
I try to get by in English.
I think you're pretty.
Probably speak a bit of Spanish as well. It's Portuguese and Spanish. It's like,
but your English is pretty good. I don't think.
I hope there's no issues with the communication.
English is better than my Portuguese. I'd say that's us. And you've also so your background is, so you're a trained veterinarian.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
You are also a teacher, or you have been a teacher.
I have been a teacher, yes.
And I guess we'll get into that as well. Your passion is in faith and ministry, deeply committed to your faith, active in the church, and serving God alongside your wife. Community building, honoring different cultures, bringing people together from Poland, Latvia, Thailand, China, everywhere. Are you a little bit of a fan of manga?
Potentially. Who's asking?
Well, I'm interested, right? I just got a little inkling that you might be interested in manga, sort of comic book type things. Yeah.
What gave it away? What
gave it away? Maybe I'll tell you. I'll tell you a bit later. So, and you enjoy cooking.
I think I enjoy eating well.
Eating.
Sometimes to eat well, you've got to cook somewhat decently, and I think this is where it comes from, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you on. So how about, I think a good place to start would be, let's talk about your kind of like your growing up in Brazil, in Bethlehem, and sort of your journey to Christ and to where you are now.
Yeah. So Bethlehem, it's a city called Belém. It's in the north of Brazil. It's in the state of Pará. So Brazil is divided in states. That is one of the most northern states. It's still in the Amazon area. So it's something that I think it's worth considering. People call it the gateway to the Amazon. It's a fairly small Brazilian capital. I'd say about 1.5 million people. So it's not huge, but it's not really small, I'd say. Grew up, well, my parents, as far as I understand, they were Catholic. and I studied my whole life in a Catholic school. It was literally from reception to the last year of school, same Catholic school, and remember they got to know Jesus. They were very active in the Catholic Church, but they got to have a different revelation of Christ around, I think I was 9 or something. I remember because I was around First Communion. I was doing the course for First Communion and all that, and that's when they converted to Christ. And I kind of was left in, okay, what now, sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's basically how things started, poking in my mind. So what? Okay. So we're doing this now. This is First Communion and God in Christ, and the saints and all that. And you're now saying that you've met Jesus. I thought we were meeting Jesus in this process here. So that was a bit confusing, I think, for a 9-year-old. But that the product of that confusion was like, I think you guys are very confused in what you're doing, and it kind of took me to a non-believer path, really. So I was very combative, especially at home, with the idea and concept of a God. There's a God up in the heavens that watches you wherever you go and watches you whatever you do. And I'm like, I can't feel that, that being true. I mean, I've had some experiences with, I'd say, with the supernatural, but that's. But even after those experiences, I was a little bit like, no, I don't think there's a God. I think there's some sort of scheme to, clever people devised this to sort of control, people that are half-wits or stuff like that. There's a lot of money being mentioned. I think there's some there that it's not quite right. Up until I had an experience 26 years ago. It was Easter Sunday. I think with every kid, I grew up in the 90s, 80s and 90s. With every kid, we were forced to go to church, me and my siblings. I remember being sat down in church that Sunday morning. I didn't pay attention to what was being. I don't remember what the pastor preached or anything. I don't remember anything. But the time that he started asking, so if you wanted to know Christ, and if you want to ask Jesus into your heart, come forward. We're going to pray for you. And I just remember being super asleep, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure. It's about to finish. Let's carry on so we can go to the hot dogs after church. And I just had this experience. It was fantastic. It was like somebody. Do you know when somebody jump scares you?
Right. Yeah.
And you get that rush of adrenaline, and you're like, whew. It was like that.
And this was in the Catholic Church.
No, this is in an evangelical church.
Can we go back?
Yeah.
Let's see. How did you get to that evangelical church from? Because you kind of non-believer status.
Yes.
Kind of
just being forced to go to church.
to Catholic church, and then so how did you get to the Protestant church? Then?
My parents went to a Protestant church.
Oh, so that's what
that's when they converted to
the conversion.
And they obviously started taking us to the Protestant church, and then and that's where things got confused. I said, but I don't think there's there's anything godly in this and all that, and I don't think there's a God at all. And I was very restless with anything. Let's get together and praise God. Home groups. It's a no. They used to do something. It was like a domestic service sort of thing. Right. Let's get together here and let's praise and let's read the Bible. And I was like, oh, man, this is utterly boring and just pointless. Yeah, really. So I was really combative on that end. And that morning, I had this rush of adrenaline out of the blue. I mean, not out of the blue, because I heard a voice saying, "Go there to the front, Rodolfo." Exactly like this. Mm-hmm. And that just like, who is talking to me? And then I looked at my siblings, they were half asleep. My parents, looked at my parents, and they were, standing up, and I was sitting down. My siblings were sitting down, my parents were up. And they were, paying attention to what was going on around them, and people were going forward. And I kept hearing that voice, the same, just go forward. Mm-hmm. Go forward, Rodolfo. And I think that was the first time I was like, wait, hey God, is that you? Sort of thing. And I felt that urge of getting up from the bench and just going forward and to be prayed on. But I didn't go. I decided I'm a bit too shy to do this, and I'm not gonna go. And the funny thing is, when I decided not to go, that rush of adrenaline, that feeling, just vanished. Mm. And that's when I think I understood, like, oh wow, how can I explain this? I don't know how to explain it. So that Sunday I went home, and I stayed in my room for basically all afternoon, just trying to make sense of what happened. And that's when I began my journey and said, Jesus, if you're listening to me now, just come in. I believe it. Come in. And yeah, that's where things started.
And during this time, so how did you meet Fernanda then?
That was at work. I was working as an English teacher at this school, and she was working as the HR admin person there. And we became friends, and obviously at the time she wasn't Christian or anything. I liked her straight away, but I was like, well, it's she's not really a Christian girl, so I'm just gonna just leave it quiet, just let it die down, and move on with life. And then she obviously resigned. Then she came back sometime after as a student in the school, and she then was my student. And then she had, in that meantime, that we've sort of lost connection. She became a Christian. Then she came back to school to study English, and she was my student. And then we reconnected, and one thing like to the other. Hey, do you want to grab something to eat after, after class? Because we knew each other from that workplace, and that's how things started.
Was she coming to your church, or did she go to?
No, she went to a different church. And she remained.
How did you find out she was a Christian then? So you knew she was not.
Yeah, we were up to, well, for my part, we were friends. Mm. So we started talking about things, and hey, how's things? How you doing? And she obviously started opening up that she became a believer. Wow. I was like, oh wow, interesting, because I'm a believer too. Mm.
Right.
And things kind of evolved from there, and
then you got married, mm-hmm. And very, very quickly ended up coming to you. So what is the story behind that? So it was just like,
Yeah. So in my journey with God, I've always felt this calling to go out. It's almost as if I knew I wasn't going to stay in Belém. And I was just always trying to figure that out. It's like, well, I know there's something there, God. I can feel this pull. Because frankly, I had no reason to leave the city, really. People ask me, oh, well, you came to the UK for a better life. And I said, not really, no. If finances was, the reason for, mm-hmm. coming to the UK, that makes no sense. It would have made much more sense to stay. And we would be much better off if that was the life goal. So I've always had that call, that pull, that thing in the back of your mind saying you're going to leave at one point. And I was at that time I was still attending uni. I was also I was attending the Theological Institute back in Belém. It's the Foursquare Institute of Theology, I think is this is it. I'm not sure if you're seeing this. Write down in the comments the right name. But I attended 2 years. I've done 2 years of theology there, and my plan was to finish university as in veterinarian and then move to Canada to just progress. And that was my plan. That was my initial plan. So I'm going to move to Canada and I'm going to progress and see what happens. I remember seeing something at the time that the Brazilian government had some sort of scheme with the Canadian government where professionals would go to Canada, work and progress on their profession, and then see what happens from there. That was my plan. And I did tell Fernanda at that time. I had already asked her to marry me. She already had said yes.
Already, yep.
And I said, look, I've got this calling from God. I'm pretty sure I've got this calling from God to leave the country and go where he tells me to go. And she said, okay, I'm in.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah. So I was like, what? You sure? Do you want to think about it? I said, no, I'm in. I was like, okay, right, okay. And then she obviously told me, well, I've got family in the UK. I was like, okay, right. Yeah, I never thought about it, but that's cool. I didn't really give it a lot of thought, but there was something that's amidst this, cutting a very long story short, amidst that period of life between finishing universities and working, I felt like I've had this direction from God, and I've been having that direction for a long time, which was to resign from my job. And I was like, oh, I don't want to resign. I've asked my girlfriend to marry me, and I want to get married and get a place for us and get a house or just to start life. So if I go jobless now, that's counterintuitive.
Yes,
I'd say.
Yeah. I'm sure her family would, her parents would be like,
what are you doing? Yeah. And I felt this direction from God, and just to go jobless, to resign from my job, which I kind of like. This makes absolutely no sense. It must be something from my mind. Carry on working as normal. And up until one point, I said, you know what? This feeling, this urge, doesn't go away. It's not going away. Let me try that. So I resigned from being an English teacher. I still, and not only that, the urge of quitting my job, I also had this, I can only describe it as a feeling that I believe the Spirit puts in us sometimes, that direction said, don't look for another job. I will open the doors for you. And I was like, okay, that's cool, God, but like, I want to get married and I want to move on with life and how is that going to work? So I stayed like that, doing odd jobs as a translator and as a interpreter, and this is how I would get some income and live off of that. Up until obviously Fernanda, she contacted her family, or a cousin of hers actually, that lives here in Rugby, contacted her and they started talking and said, well, I've got a job for you guys if you'd like. And that sort of clicked. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that what it is, God? But like I have no money to move to the UK. How do we do that? And it all happens that summer. We obviously bought to get married, and we basically were given everything. We were given, we were gifted our marriage, and we received a generous gifting from our guests' marriage, and that sort of took us to Portugal, where she also had family at the time. We sort of briefly connected with the church in Portugal as well, and then we finally came over to the UK, where I ended up working where Fernanda's cousin worked at the time as well. So I kind of saw everything falling into place as I understood God would do. as much outlandish as it sounds, and I know how it sounds because I'm saying it right now.
Yeah. And how long after you had married was the move? It seems like it was pretty quick.
We married in December. We were in Portugal I think it was by the end of January.
Yeah.
By the end of January, I think.
Yeah.
2013. So then we came here to the UK permanently on the 19th of April, 2013.
Yeah. Wow. Never looked back.
No, never looked back.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I want to just rewind a little bit because there is this kind of, you mentioned it. We did briefly mention it. Like there's this kind of, there's this veterinarian, there's English teaching. What happened there? So you were studying university veterinary, like a veterinary course. I guess you wanted to do that, but what happened to that? Were you, did you complete the course? Did you go on? Did you do any?
Yeah, I did complete the course.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to do it, if I'm very honest with you. What happened was, so when I had to choose which university I would go to, because back in Brazil, I'm not sure if this is the same. I suspect it is still the same, but we had to take, it's like a public test. So you choose, okay, I want to be an engineer. And you would obviously see which university or which institution offers engineering courses, and you would enroll for their acceptance test. You have to pass that test to be accepted on that course. I wanted for the longest time to go into med school. And then I enrolled in many universities just to test it out. Because I would get very nervous with the tests and all that. It would be a Sunday morning. It would be that tension in the air, and I would get nervous. And I knew everything was sort of here, but I'm like, when you're nervous, things don't go from here to this end of your body. Very, 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 at least for me, it doesn't go very well. So I enrolled in many universities with many different courses just to try it out, just to get that nervousness out of me. So veterinary was one of them, and it was a public university, which in Brazil, public universities, we don't pay for it, essentially. It's free of charge. So I remember being accepted at vet school and being accepted on another institution for, I think it was computing engineer, or something of the sort. I ended up getting a very good placement in this university. I was offered half scholarship. I was even offered a seat on the mechatronics course as well. I was like, wow, but we're gonna have to pay for that. I don't want to pay for it. Well, I don't want my parents to pay for it. They could have paid for it, but I was like, I don't want them to pay for anything. I want to do things, my way, and you know how it is being young and stubborn and not knowing much, not knowing better, I would say. So I chose veterinary. So I'm going to start the veterinary course, see how it goes, and take it from there. I ended up finishing the course. In between doing veterinary, I started doing theology, which then I later found out that's really what I wanted to do. Then I started doing theology while I've started doing an apprenticeship to become a teacher, and that became my job at that time as well. So I was sort of juggling three things at once, and looking back, quit your job sort of direction was probably wise.
Yeah,
because I was.
Was it a case of being too scattered and
being too scattered? Yes. On top of that, I was working, helping the church with ministry. I've been involved with teaching, with youth and youth services, youth home groups, youth teaching, youth discipleship. I was involved with this as well. So it was 2 schools, let's put it like that, a job, plus a very active life in church. So that was at one point it was like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything particularly well because I'm being spread too thin, I believe, at this point. But I don't think I saw that like that at that time. But yeah, that's how things panned out roughly on that time.
So talk us through then. So you arrive in rugby. So you're starting your job, which
Yeah.
is with Fernanda's family connection.
Because yeah.
Yeah. What was your first kind of impressions of the UK?
Different.
Did you
Very
visited
different.
before? It was
No.
First time.
No, it was. I mean, we came here. I think in March. March, around March, end of winter. We came here just
Right.
say hello and see how things are. I said, is this what you want? I said, okay, yeah, we're here. We've crossed the Atlantic, so might as well. It was very different. It was very different. The first thing that struck me is how green things are around here. And it's funny because, I come from the Amazon region,
Yeah.
but yeah, we sort of tend to separate nature from the concrete. I think we believe there, might be wrong, that concrete is progress.
Yeah. Well, I think perhaps in the cities it'd be a bit different. Yeah. But
Yeah, concrete is progress, so no green or very little green compared to what rugby and around rugby is really. So very different, very uniform. Houses are all the same. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Houses, they all look like each other, and that's nice, I suppose. It doesn't leave too much for people to be wanting. Your house looks better than mine, sort of thing. Yeah, so
True.
that's like, oh, okay.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
That does happen, but
Yeah.
it's in a particular neighborhood. It would probably be.
Yes. Obviously, you go to different neighborhoods and you see, oh, this house looks better than that one. But in let's say a town center sort of thing, things kind of look very uniform, and you have that sense of like, okay, this is very neat, very nicely organized. I really loved driving in rugby as well at that time because it was super quiet. I was like, wow, people actually respect the rules here.
Yeah.
There's no rogue drivers. I mean, there are, but that first impression of like there's no rogue drivers around, and everybody's just very respectful, very polite. So it was a very good first impression.
What about the weather?
I actually love it.
You really? Did
I actually
Fernanda
love
like it?
I'll leave it to her. But I like it. I really do. Really do.
Really?
I know people complain about it a lot. I mean,
You don't miss the warm.
not one bit.
Brazil, no.
Not one bit.
You like
No. No,
you don't mind a little chilly breeze.
oh no, I love it. I welcome it.
Yeah, really. Wow, it's
Yeah, no, I don't miss the warmth for one bit. I mean, 20 degrees it's warm enough. It's warm enough, and back in Belém, we had temperatures over 30 easily, all day, every day, from the 1st of January to the 31st of December, all day, every day, for the rest of your life. That scorching heat.
I think some people would love that, But
I know, yeah.
I do
some
need
people
it.
do, yeah.
I remember actually coming back from 6 weeks in the Gulf in Saudi Arabia, and I just remember the first feeling of stepping outside and feeling the breeze. And I'd never been so sort of just thankful to live in England than I did then. It's just like, oh, I miss this breeze. I miss this cool breeze. It's like out there in the desert. When the wind blows, it's just hot.
Yeah.
It's just heat.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's that sense. I mean, people say, "Oh, I'd love to live in a hot place," and I was like, "Well, be really careful for what you wish for, because would you like to have showers? Because I would have 2 showers minimum a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you leave the shower and you're already dripping. I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I dried myself. I'm dripping already.
Wow.
So yeah, 2, 3, 4 showers a day. That's not uncommon.
So UK climate suits you then.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And let's talk about the manga stuff.
Okay.
So
Why'd you-
I kind of so you guys seem to me to be have a little bit of a hidden kind of you're a fan of you know, some of the superhero stuff, I think, or like because there's a photo I saw of Fernanda standing in front of a Batmobile.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that one time.
yeah. True.
Yeah.
Comic Con. Yeah.
A little car eye Comic Con, yeah. So I don't think people looking at you would think, oh, these guys are like into their
These guys are nerds now.
yeah, they're nerds, yeah, nerds, yeah.
No, yeah.
But I know. So I'll tell you why. I know. I saw. I was doing some stalking. I saw a photo of you, and I saw you wearing a top,
Okay.
like a zip top. I noticed on it an emblem on it, which is from Attack on Titan. Which I'm a big fan of that.
The Survey
series.
Corps. Yes.
Yeah. The
That's what I think. When
and I was like, oh, cool, you know, get that kind of, yeah. So, are you a big manga fan, or is it just kind of a few of those things like that you've read?
yeah, I think I've you know, yeah, I think I've tried to ward off the nerd label for very long.
You do very well to keep it hidden, but it does occasionally, it just pops up, you know.
It does, yeah. It's impossible not to.
Yeah.
But yes, I admit I'm a nerd. Yes, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of Japanese influence back in Brazil. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, Brazil is the biggest Japanese colony outside of Japan. So I've had Japanese friends growing up, and people from school being direct children of Japanese, and so that's very present in Brazilian culture. I'd say at least where I come from, it was very present. So, you know, growing up watching tokusatsu like Flashman, Jaspion, things that preceded Power Rangers.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, so Power Rangers is what's known in the West essentially.
Yeah.
As the group of 5 heroes that get together. I've watched loads before that. You know, straight from that period. And yes, obviously anime, manga. It comes with the packaging. And yeah, I may have a slight inclination to it.
Yeah. Any particular series you recommend?
Oh, what would you like to go? Well, I mean,
I read Attack on Titan. I read the whole lot.
You read it? Okay.
Yeah, I've read that. It was a really cool series.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
There's other ones that I'm watching, reading, you know, and to be honest, I probably have an unhealthy kind of. I like sort of crime and things like that. So I sometimes read sort of graphic novel stories which are sort of based on crime or you know, that kind of genre. But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what manga series. There's a manga series I'm reading at the moment. It's and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly. It's a Jin Demi-Human. That's one I'm reading, which is a bit
Jin,
kind of
I think. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that they have this. Anyway, we're not going to nerd out right now, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I guess as a Christian, you have to be careful of what you're reading as well. It's not. You know, sometimes manga can. Well, any comic book stories can become.
Yeah.
There's a lot of genres out there, so you have to be very careful, especially if I love crime fiction, but that can also be a little bit, bit. What would you call it? Not being too, not. What's the word? I'm trying to think of the word for it, but can sometimes be unhealthy, let's say. But you have to be careful about what you're reading.
You've got to be careful. Yes, I think there's some. See, for me, I like stories, and obviously manga and anime and films and books, games. They're filled with stories, and obviously.
What kind of stories do you like?
Any, really.
Yeah.
I used to be more partial to fantasies, but I think I'm like okay, I think I've had my fill.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yes, I've recently finished the 14 books of Wheel of Time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was a big ordeal. As I started, I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to take me ages to finish. I'm like, okay, it took me a year and a half, I think, to finish everything. And when I finished, I'm like, okay, I think I'm temporarily done with fantasy. So I'm going to move on from fantasy. So any story really. Obviously fiction. I think we have this. I think we human beings have this storytelling bug embedded on our DNAs. I think that it's how we used to pass down history back in the day. Well, it was everything was oral, wasn't it? We didn't have anything written. Everything was oral, and then obviously scribes started recording things. But oral traditions they go a long way. Up until these days, we still tell stories to our kids, for example, or each other. So there is that, I think, on our human DNA. I think this love of stories. We share with the stories, I think.
Do you think there is in the fantasy, in where we look at sort of heroes and things like that, do you think there's anything sort of that's pulling from anywhere, like from one of the common tropes is the chosen one.
Yeah.
And we think of Jesus as the chosen one. The sacrifice, and a resurrection. You see that often played out in fictional stories. Do you think inside of us there's something? Do you think stories are some kind of expression of true nature things, or do you think it's coming from somewhere else?
I think it comes from that connection that we originally lost back in the day with good brother Adam. I think it comes from there. I think us as human beings, we are longing to come back to that relationship with our Creator, but obviously we're so subscribed to the things of this world that we often just put it in second place. It's quite easy to do that, really. Even as among Christians, it's something easy to do. You subscribe to your natural life and you pursue it. And God is that force that's going to help you achieve what this world wants you to achieve, sort of thing. And that's obviously not what Christ said, but coming back to that, yes, people, I think we as human beings, we long for that connection. And we long for that that belonging elsewhere. I think this is why stories are also so good in taking us elsewhere, taking us from our own reality and getting us to a place where we're happy, or a place where we're sad, when we can process emotions and we can process thoughts and dreams and hopes and fears. And yes, I think that is something godly in that connection. We are pursuing God, whether we like it or not. I think as human beings, we're wanting that connection at all times, and we want that fatherly connection. And people will say, "No, I don't want that." Yes, you do want that. Deep down, you do want that, unless obviously you're just outright rejecting it. But stories, it's like that. You can see throughout cinema, or The Matrix is obviously a good. You touched on the one. The Matrix is a good example of that. There's a lot of analogies you can take from the film, and you're like, oh, I think I've seen this somewhere else. I think this is something biblical here. But obviously, there's a lot of things that are not biblical in the film. But the crux of the story, there's somebody who's going to pay the price for everybody else to be free of this system. That imprisons them without their knowledge and without their consent. Let's put it like that.
It's funny when you mention Matrix, because there's a lot of I think there's a real movement among some interesting. There's an interesting movement amongst I think some intellectuals and people like Elon Musk who believe that we're in a a simulation. Yeah, have you heard about the simulation theory?
Yes.
Especially now, I'm coming across because I follow a lot of AI.
Yeah.
Tech news, and there's this debate online at the moment about AI being conscious, and then it crosses over into this simulation theory, and it's like, well, how can we be, what is consciousness, and maybe we're artificial intelligence. And I think it's a bit, it gets a bit silly, but
I did ask that to ChatGPT, but he promised me that he's not conscious.
I for me it's I try to explain to people what and when we talk about AI, we're talking about the natural language processing, because it's a big field.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to people it's what it is made up of. It's essentially a prediction engine. So it's taking, massive amounts of data, massive amounts of text, tokenizing it, putting weights against that, and it's predicting what the next word will be, and it's incredibly amazing at doing that. There's no real intelligence behind that. It's a reasoning engine, it's inference. And but I think a lot of people are kind of seeing the output, the result, and they're mistaking the map for the territory. It's like sort of looking at the map and and it's but it's not the real thing. It's a map of the thing, And I think if people are kind of it's a very interesting debate. I know it's not what you're here to talk about today, but I think just the interesting bit about it is the matrix and the simulation theory and everything. I wonder if you'd heard of that and what you
it's interesting because people, especially, I think there's always been this debate in philosophy. What is the consciousness? Isn't it? What is it made of? Does it even exist? I remember reading an article, I think it was last year or the year before. I don't remember exactly who wrote the article. Again, if somebody knows that, comment down below. But it was separating or acknowledging the facts that consciousness can be separated from the body. So basically, the summing it up, the whole article it was people using tools like, for example,
sensory deprivation.
Not sensory deprivation, but some VR. Using VR, for example, and how quickly your body would recognize what you're seeing through VR as it being your body, instead of your body, your actual body, your material body, but as if it's almost as if that your consciousness would attach itself to that new imagery that you're seeing through VR, and that was some sort of evidence of the consciousness being detached from the body. Which I think we know it is the case.
Yes, yeah.
We will all die one day.
Yeah, if you read accounts of near-death experiences, there's some very similar stories. Of people, and there's people who describe sort of hovering above themselves.
Yes.
And so they can see the doctors and whatever it is that are sort of working around their body. And they can actually describe what happened. The actual. Doctor dropped this instrument or something like that, and that actually did happen. They saw it, kind of, from above.
From above, it's interesting that it's an eye-opening situation, because that actually happened to me when I was a kid. I was at one point as a kid. I was a very sickly kid, so I got pneumonia quite a few times, and I didn't think anything of this for the longest time, but recently I started, when you start thinking about life, that happened to me that time. What did that mean? But it was exactly like that. I remember being ill with pneumonia at one point, and I was in my room and I was sleeping, but when I woke up, I could see myself laying down in my bed, and I could see my room, I could see everything as it was. I couldn't see me, hovering, let's put it like that, above my own body. But I definitely remember vividly, like I'm talking to you right now, coming down slowly coming down onto myself. And when I touched down, let's put it like that, I woke up, and I remember
Yeah.
that gasping for air.
Yeah.
And I remember, looking around, I was like, yeah, what was that? Sort of thing. So I know exactly what and I've heard other testimonies of people describing basically the same experience, but sometimes in an operating table or on a different setting. So yes, consciousness, and obviously we know that we've got a soul, obviously, and this body will decay and go under the earth one day.
Yeah.
And this is up until we get to our new bodies. That's
Yeah. It sort of way is like a machine, really. Our bodies are a bit like a machine sustaining or holding onto our consciousness. You know,
I think this is our souls wearing these clothes and this body for the time being.
Yes.
Up until we get a new one.
Indeed. So let's getting back down to an earthly topic. So when you came to UK, so you were teaching here, weren't you? You were doing.
I did. Yeah,
you were teaching for a while. You were which is English
yes.
classes.
English classes. Yeah.
Yeah. And was that through LifeLink Global, right?
Yeah, it was on the old building.
Global Horizons building.
Yes,
in
Temple Buildings.
Yeah.
I think it was called the other side of the road. It was there. So it was a group of people that basically people that didn't really speak English, or English wasn't their first language. So yes, it was a very, very nice time. This was back in 2013, I think.
How long did you do that for?
I think I'm not sure that if I've done it for a year or something of the sort. Remember that I started working, and my working patterns working times were conflicting with the classes, and I had to drop it, unfortunately. But it was very nice to connect with people from everywhere, really, and learn a little bit of other languages as well.
How did you find sort of New Life Church then? Did you go to any other churches when you were?
Yeah, we did go to another church. We came here. It was like, well, we came here to serve, really.
Yeah.
So we didn't come to seek a better life or a better financial condition, because that wouldn't make any sense for us. Fernanda, for example, she's got more qualifications than I do in terms of professional qualifications. So that truly doesn't make any sense. But we were looking, obviously, for a community where we could serve the community. And we've been to a church, and we didn't really feel that connection, I'd say. Well, that's all nice and well that this church is here, but I don't think this is our place to be. And we were going back home one day, and we obviously saw, I think this is the church here, Fernanda. And then maybe you can come on a Sunday, visit, and see how it goes, And here we are still.
And in that time, you had 3 children as well come along?
Yeah, 3 children came along, yeah.
The last one was during the pandemic, right?
During the pandemic,
yeah,
yes.
As you mentioned, that was a bit of a tough one.
Yeah, I think all things considered, the lockdowns and the isolation, and it was a tough time. But
so did Fernanda have to do it herself, right? She was alone, in hospital.
No. So I was allowed in with her at the time, because Gabriel was born in August, so things were a bit more loose at that time. My mother was also. She managed to come in and help out for some time. So it was tough.
Yeah,
but it was good. It was it's a very, very life-changing experience, I think.
Yeah,
having kids, and it was nice, and it's a blessing. Gabriel is definitely a blessing from God.
Yeah,
we obviously had the girls, and we were on that stage of like, so are we gonna have another kid? What do you think? And she was like, well, I don't know. What do you think? I was like, well, I don't know. What do you think? So, shall we talk about it tomorrow? Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow, sort of thing. And yeah, here's Gabriel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was good. It is good. Yeah, it is good.
What is one thing about sort of fatherhood that's sort of, kind of changed your outlook on life then?
I think the first thing is that we realize that we don't live for ourselves anymore. I think it's the first realization. I think especially, I mean, I haven't been trained to be a father. Let's be honest.
They don't pull you out and take you to a class and
There's no teaching classes or preparatory courses. How to be a father? I didn't know. I think I don't think I know how to be a father. I'm still learning. It's the sort of game you learn while playing it. Sometimes I think I don't do a particularly good job. Sometimes I think I do okay. So you never know. Let's see in 10, 20 years, what's the feedback like from the kids?
get their opinions and ask them, right?
How did I do?
How does he work as a father? What grade would you give him? Is there any kind of let's ask a different question then. Is there any kind of wisdom that you've discovered from any of your children that has kind of made you realize something profound?
Yes. You see, apart from discovering that when you become a parent, you don't live for yourself anymore. You know, you want that new manga series that's coming out, and you want to buy them. You know, without fail, like, oh, hang on, this. I probably have to buy nappies with this money, so let's save it for the nappies.
It's like, yeah, I could get.
But you know, there's a recent one because you know, I think with every one of our children, I think I've had different realizations. I started really raw in the sense of, oh, I really have no idea how this works. And then you start getting the hang of it. On the second one, and I think now on the third one, but I think I sort of have it. But
it's like that thing with what is it? They said the eldest child, the middle child, and the last child, and they say the eldest child is kind of the one that
it's the experiment.
Experiment. Yeah. And then the youngest child kind of tends to get away with everything. Right.
Yeah, I think you're more seasoned or more understanding, perhaps. But there was an interesting thing that Gabriel told me the other day. He's a very inquisitive kid. He comes up with some questions. I'm like, where did you hear this from? Where does it come from?
Yeah.
And he one day he told me, so Dad, why do you drive around in this old car? It was like, well, what? Okay, where is this coming from? What do you mean? Oh, you should be driving some newer cars. I'm like, and it just came to the tip of my tongue to say, all right, when you grow up, then you find yourself a nice job and buy me some nice cars. And I was going to say that to him. And I had that click. I said, don't say that to him. And I understood. I think it was the Spirit just saying, just don't say that to him, because you're gonna tie him to yourself, and he's not gonna forget that.
Yeah.
Because as kids, we want to be loved by our parents. We want to be accepted. We want acceptance. We want recognition, and he's not going to forget that. You're gonna tie him to yourself because of what you said. So you want to be tied to him, or you want him to be tied to you through love, not through acceptance. Or he does, you know. And I understood somewhat of, I think, of our relationship with God as well, because God doesn't tie us, let's put it like that, to Him through things, as much as we sometimes tend to think that. And some people think that it's all about the blessings. Oh, it's good that I'm with Christ now because I'm going to have that new house. Hallelujah. But it's not really that, isn't it? It's when Christ say, you know, to that rich guy, he comes to Christ and says, well, I've got, you know, I do everything right. I do the law as it should be done. I cross the T's, dot the I's. What else should I do, Jesus? And then Jesus turns to him and says, well, you just, yeah, if you're on that level, just, I think what's left for you is just to give away what you have. Give everything away and come with me. So it's nothing that we are going to bring, or there's nothing that we can touch, or, and, that's not the tie between us and God. It's that tie of relationship.
What ways do you think we tie ourselves, perhaps to? In what ways do you think we tie ourselves to something which we think is God, but it's not?
I think we're very good in subscribing to the ways of this life. I've been taught from the get-go, as you've been taught from the get-go, as everybody's been taught from the get-go. Right, grow up, go to school, find yourself a nice job, right? Get a lot of money, maybe buy a house, buy properties or a car. Find yourself a nice, beautiful girl, get married, have kids, have a nice and fat, retirement, and wait for death. That's basically the subscription of this life.
Right up until the end of it was like, oh, this is yeah, sounds right. And then they're like, and then wait for death, and then it's like kind of bring the whole, the whole downer. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's the basic subscription of this life, isn't it? It's what we all pursue, or are pursuing to some level, or to some degree. I think sometimes when we hear about Christ, and we hear that Christ is coming to give you life and life in abundance, we very often mistake that life in abundance with life from this world. Okay, all right, okay, good. Now I'm gonna get that new car I want, because now I'm with Christ. Now Jesus is going to finally bless me with that new SUV that's electric, and it comes with all the bells and whistles. There's nothing wrong with you having that. There's nothing wrong with you working and getting your properties and your riches, but that's not really the life that Christ invites you to have with Him. It's relationship. It's a relationship with Him, through the Spirit, not through things. I think I may be completely wrong, but it's a common misconception that we have. It's like it's as if I'm your friend because you have a nice video game. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
When we're kids, there's always that kid. Oh, it's got a good video game. Let's go to his house to play the video game, and this is the reason why we're friends.
Yeah.
There's a level of interest. I'm giving you something, you're giving me something. Therefore, we're friends, and we bring this to our relationships throughout life, and we bring this to our relationship with God from the get-go, I think. And I think it takes some sort of, getting to know God, getting to Scripture time, and let's understand this here. Let's read. Let me read it again, sort of thing. Let me see what the context is being said. Let me see, because when Christ says to the rich guy, I said, "All right, sell everything, come and follow me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not sure, Jesus, if I want to sell everything and come with it." And Jesus then goes, "All right, I was just kidding. Just sell half of you have. Sell half of it. Keep half." There isn't that element, of, okay, fine. Be half rich and come and follow me. Again, there's nothing wrong with being rich and having possessions, but that's just not what it is about. It's interesting when you see, for example, when the disciples get filled with the Spirit, and there was a crowd that got filled with the Spirit, and they started living in a community where these things didn't really matter. They used to help each other, and what's mine is yours. Oh, by the way, Wes, I'm making this cake. I've got no eggs. Don't worry. Here. How many eggs do you need? Do you know? Because they knew that there was something that I've got it here now. God will provide it tomorrow. And yeah, the best thing we have is actually Christ that binds us together, that ties us together. That's what's important. And I think this is why we forget, even as Christians as well.
Do you find actually, do you find the culture in the UK on that sort of note of sort of just giving what's needed and everything? Do you find in the UK people are a little sort of more private and a little less community minded than back in Brazil?
I want to say yes. Yes, I think so. But I think it's purely down to the culture. I think the culture is different. I think back in Brazil, I'm not sure. I've thought about that many times in the past, trying to understand it. I'm not sure if the weather has something to do with it.
Yeah, could be. We can't stand around the street talking.
Yeah, we've got to go in. It's too cold.
Yeah, it's a good. I think it's a bad.
I'm not sure. Maybe that's got some influence. I don't know. So where I come from, it's hot all the time. I think working hours maybe some sort of have some sort of influence in that, because I'm in some professions in Brazil, for example, things start early. You have that gap by the middle of the day.
It's too hot to work and too hot.
Yeah, if you've got like an hour lunch or sometimes 2 hour lunch.
Yeah.
And there's loads you can do in 2 hours. So it's enough time for you to like wind down and then come back to work in the afternoon and then get off of work. If you had something to do, like some shopping to do and whatever, you've done that under 2 hours. So whereas you work the same amount of time, you have a lot of it feels like you have a lot of free time to enjoy yourself. And you know what? It's actually a nice day outside. It's hot. Hey Wes, what's up?
Yeah.
What we eating today? Sort of thing. That's very, very common.
Right. Yeah.
In Brazil, I would not dream of doing this here in the UK.
No.
Just calling you out of the blue. Hey, what's up, Wes? You okay? What are you cooking tonight? Yeah. By the way, I'm downstairs. I'm gonna go up to yours now.
Yeah. I'm just popping in. So whatever you've got on the stove, I'll have a portion. Yeah.
No, that's never.
No, you wouldn't do that here. I
No.
think if you tried to do that.
So I'm actually not home at the moment. So
Yeah, it's like it's not a good time at the moment.
No,
yeah.
So that's one aspect I think of the whole thing. And I think there is a little bit more of a let me get to know you sort of thing. And putting that effort in, as in, I'm not just going to invite you for a meal. I'm actually going to get to know you and say, hey, Wes, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How's things? Sort of thing, that is a bit different, I'd say. It's a bit, you feel a bit more, you feel like you're part of it in some sense. It's not that you don't feel that here. I feel here that I am part of it. But I don't think I have as many reminders, let's put it like that. If I needed a reminder, I have more reminders there.
Yeah.
That I'm part of it. That I'm your friend. And hey, by the way, my wife baked this cake, mate. Do you want a slice of it? Come around, let's have some coffee. Let's have some cake here for us. That's something very common.
Do you know? I think actually, I have a theory. I think there's a lot of people in England who would very much want to reach out and have close friendships.
Yeah.
And they're quite lonely. But we're all kind of taught not to encroach on other people's privacy and certainly not to be too overly personal.
Yes.
And so we're all taught that we've got to kind of keep ourselves to ourselves. And I think sometimes there are people in society who get quite, they get quite isolated.
Yeah.
And I think that is a bit of a unfortunate problem. I do think in the past, I think we were probably a bit more we're a bit more kind of community minded in the country in this country, but I think it's changed a lot. You know, I think ironically with social mobility, which means the ability of people to travel, move to new places, new locations, and everything, has had a negative effect on that, essentially, because you grew up in the same neighborhood with all these people you knew, and you know, you've got people who live there for life, and so you get to know these people and they're your friends and neighbors, but with the times we're in now, with especially in a place like our country, with so much social mobility and so much moving around, and you know, all these Londoners coming up to rugby, you know, and all these foreigners, you know, coming over to the UK to rugby as well. That
I wonder what these guys are.
No, but I think what happens is it does become a bit more like strangers.
Yeah, it does.
It's actually harder to connect, you know.
Yes, and I'm with you totally. You see, I think there's a lot of factors to this actually, because I grew up in the 90s. I have the feeling you grew up in the same sort of era. I remember what it's not to have a telephone. I remember what it's not to have,
mobile phone or anything,
mobile phones or screens.
In
a sense. Obviously, there was TV and we watched TVs and stuff there, but we were not enslaved to it in a sense. We would go out. We would, play football on the street. Okay. So I said, Dad, I'm going to grandma's house. Yeah, fine. How are you going to get there? I'm just going to ride my bike. And I'm going to, okay, whatever. Yeah. You do you and go on your way. Dinner is going to be this time. You know what dinner time is, and come back. But you had this sense of, freedom, I'd say, or the sense of it. It's different from now, because I think that now we feel like, I need to catch up with that show I haven't watched yet.
Yes.
I'm paying for Netflix or whatever subscription service.
Yes, hardly using it.
I need to. There's a show that I need to catch up, so I'm gonna go in tonight and just
stay and watch.
Stay and watch.
I think it's getting older as well. I think you start to.
It's like, could be that.
The idea of absolutely, kind of the idea of an awesome night for me used to be we going out. Let's go to Leicester. Let's go somewhere. Go clubbing. I think the idea now of a fantastic night for me is just a night on the couch. But I think that's just
chilling.
I think it's just getting old. I think that's
there's that aspect as well. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
but I do remember those days. Do you remember when you used to have to, this is for anybody who's younger who's watching this now, it's just gonna, I'd love to kind of know what it feels like to hear this, but you used to have to sort of call your friends on a phone and sort of arrange to meet them.
Yes.
They'd be like, well, I'll meet you at 1:30 and we'll meet at this point, and you had to kind of make sure you all knew where it was.
Yes.
And then you get there and it'd be like, just wait around, and if
you just wait around,
you wait around, sometimes they didn't turn up and you had no idea.
You had no idea.
You had no idea where they were. You just accepted, they didn't make it, and then after a little while, if they didn't turn up, it'd just be, all right, well, let's go.
Yes, exactly.
If you were late, you'd miss out.
There was no text message. Hey, where are you? Sort of thing.
And it's like now you're just instantly reachable.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the irony is that we're almost on a personal level, we're almost further apart, but we're more able to be in touch with each other than ever.
Yes. And I think that's exactly what it is. To be fair, this is why I've asked you. Did you find anything online about me?
Yeah,
because I've purposefully from some years from now, I've tried to just try to stay away from my phone as much as I could. Mm-hmm. And this was deliberate, because it's anybody watching this on YouTube, for example, will know how easy it is for you to start watching something at 7 p.m. let's say, and then you're just so engrossed with it, and then when you realize it's 11,
doom scrolling,
and social media, and
I do that. I sit down and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch a show now, or I read a book. I'm going to catch up on reading something. It's like, oh, let me just check on, Twitter or something. Let me just check, have a look at what's happening, and then 3 hours later, you've just been scrolling through, and it's like, how did that take 3 hours? How did that take 3 hours of my time?
It's easily done.
Yeah.
It's very easily done,
But you and Fernanda like sharing memes, don't you?
I liked sharing memes. Yes, when I was more active, that was my thing, sharing memes.
That's what I do with my wife, with Donna. I just send her a load of stream, loads of images, and then I watch to see if she's opening them and viewing them. It's like, come on, view.
Yes, my communication is very meme.
Yeah,
meme-like. I message her sometimes, and I say something that's that can be, perceived in many ways. Let's put it like that, and then a meme follows.
Yeah,
it's always like that. Yeah. Between us, but I think the phones, it's that false perception of being close to somebody, without really being close, which is fantastic. For example, you've got your phone. I can just obviously call my relatives wherever they are. That's
that
awesome.
is one of the benefits. You're living in the UK, but you still kind of can have that.
Exactly.
Before it would be like you had to send a postcard.
Or write,
or
write a letter.
We live in an era now where we can see somebody halfway across the world, and
exactly. You had to call like a central of international calls distribution.
Yeah.
So where you want to call? Oh, I want to call. The UK. Yeah. Okay. What's the number? And then you give out the number, and then they put you through.
Yes.
And you had to be putting the little coins in. It's a different world. It's a different world.
So there's there's pluses to it, but there's also the negative effects, I guess, and which we all know of, what those are and everything. But
mind you, you've asked me the question, what's different between the UK and Brazil, and this is obviously, I'm thinking at least 15 years ago. I don't know how things are now. It might as well be the same. People keeping themselves to themselves, and having that false sense of closeness because I've friended you on Facebook, or follow you on Instagram, or something. Oh, I know who Wes is. That's fine.
Yeah.
But never really knowing really who you are. But in my mind, that checks that box. No, I know Wes. That's fine.
Yes, you get like little what the person's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they look like they're having fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're living the best life. Look at that. I'm not anything like that.
I wish I was there.
They're living the best life right now. Oh, they're going on holiday that place. Oh, I really wish I could go there. It's like
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But we're all doing that, aren't we? We're all kind of looking at other people. Everybody's posting online. They're posting all their great moments of their life, and it's like you never see like occasionally you do. People, I've just crashed my car, but there's this kind of Instagram lifestyle now, which is people are just posting the most amazing photos of where they are and what they're doing and everything. And it's kind of, there's a bit of a falseness to that as well, right?
Totally,
Nobody has a perfect life like that.
No.
Very few people, I think,
Yeah.
And if you do, you need Jesus. That's what it is, because
this is the thing that gives off a massive impression that you truly living the best life.
Yeah.
Here I am, I don't know, London Eye.
Yeah.
And then you just go,
yeah.
And yes. Awesome, best life ever. But you never know. You never know what's really going on with that person. And we ended up buying that imagery of like, oh, this Wes is doing really well.
Yeah, it's true.
Why am I not doing so well?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Perhaps there's something about that though, because as we know, some people they'll be posting great photos, they'll be traveling and doing really exciting things, but we don't see those the difficult times they're going through. We don't see the the times where they're just sort of like Sunday evening, sat on a couch, and feeling like a fat lump,
Yeah.
Not that I have any experience in that, but it's, but do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes, absolutely.
you don't
Yeah.
see that kind of, and maybe that's what is missing, is like this. Maybe we're all too busy trying to make ourselves look like we're great, we're having a great time, and our life is just amazing,
Yeah.
to not, but we're not being real about kind of like, well,
Yes. And again, I think we as human beings are very good at that.
yeah.
I think we're very good at that. I think especially us men are very good at that.
Yeah, men, really.
We are
I would have thought it
good.
was women, who are a bit
Yeah.
more kind of the
Yeah.
Instagram. No?
No, I mean, for
Men.
example, if I ask you, "Hey, Wes, how you doing, mate?" Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, kind of.
Are you, how's things with you? Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen something online the other day, but if this is absolutely true, it's like men with a very serious injury of missing an arm or something, like something really life-threatening. Yeah, I'm fine. But then men with a cold, laying down,
Yeah, man flu. Yeah,
man flu. So these are
Yes.
my last words.
yeah.
So we're very good in just carrying on with things and just like, yeah, it's fine.
There is, that is a whole interesting subject to get into on itself. But I think the male experience can sometimes be a very sort of lonely experience, and there's a feeling like you have just got to get on with things and
Yeah.
like not, it's just like, well, just
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
talk and not show emotion or anything.
No, we're taught that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're taught that somehow. We just.
Are we taught it?
I think. Well, I was. I think I
Are we
was.
taught it though? Is it? I'm trying to think. As I was raised by a single mother, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things she taught me, whether she intended to or not. But I think I don't recall any lessons sort of saying, "Oh, you're a man, so you've got to, you got to keep it all inside." And I know there's an archetype, and I know there was perception in society of that, but are we taught it, or is that more just kind of
Yeah, I think when I say taught, not that somebody gave you like a lesson
Yes.
on how to be a man or something, but I think at least growing up, I felt that I couldn't show any emotions, for example, unless they're positive.
yeah.
I mean, emotions are not positive or negative in themselves, but my reactions needed to be positive. Let's put it like that to circumstances, or if a bad circumstance, arose, I just had to just put up with it. Just put up with it. Just chin up. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
So it's not as if somebody's teaching you, but we learn, like I said, your mother taught you stuff, whether she wanted to, or not.
Well, you just reminded me. You literally just reminded me. So I've shared this in the past. So this is not like hidden knowledge or anything, but I had a lot of social workers in my life growing up, and my mother suffering with mental illness. And I remember, you just reminded me, like, I remember the social workers. I was probably 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
So I was approaching that age of when you're kind of okay to, I think back then they sort of saw a 13, 14-year-old and it was like, well, they can look after themselves, probably wouldn't now. They wouldn't now, but it was like, and I remember the social workers would ask me and they'd say, are you okay? Do you want to, do you need any help, or do you want to, do you want us to take you somewhere? And I had this fear in me of being separated from my family, separated from my brother, and I had this fear that they would just take me and put me in a care home or something like that. Not a care home, put me in the system, become a ward of the state, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember every time I'd answer, nope, it's fine. Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. And it was like, just like this automatic. And I grew up with that kind of like, not having to show any kind of like anything was going wrong. I go to school, people at school would say, oh, I heard you, I saw your mum the other day. I saw, saw her in town and she was shouting at people or whatever, and I just kind of like, no, I think you got it wrong. I think you got it wrong.
Yeah.
I think you've got the wrong person there. No, that wasn't her. You know, she wasn't there. And there was just this kind of like really trying hard to kind of keep a very straight face. And I think I played that so well. I never used to show emotion.
Yes.
I used to, everything was shut. You know, I must have had, when I look back now, I didn't realize it, but I must have had some kind of trauma.
Yeah.
Because I never used to emotionally react to things. Now, I find I'm, you know, this is, you know, I'm in my 40s, approaching 50. You know, it's only in the last few years I've started to find myself getting, you know, watching a movie, getting weepy, or I see somebody's story online. I see, you know, I watch these dogs being rescued, dogs and cats being rescued.
Yeah.
Or even kids being adopted or whatever. And I get all kind of bit emotional and teary, and I never used to. I used to be just like straight kind of never show emotion. It was just all, I don't know, I don't want to say bottled up because and it wasn't me holding it in.
Yeah.
But it seems to, it started to well up inside of me.
Yeah.
After going to my 30s, it started to well up inside of me, and I keep it down because like, no, that doesn't make sense. Where's that coming from?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's only now as I started to kind of like feel, you know, I guess I still try not to show emotion, but in private, allow myself to, you know, but it's very interesting you brought that back. You know, it's very interesting that you reminded me of that, you know?
Yeah. So I think I can totally relate to what you're saying, because I also didn't show any emotions. I think I was, in a sense, like wired to just, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, this bad thing. Oh yeah, no, it's very sad. Anyway, let's look here.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, if you ask what changed becoming a parent, that changed because I don't know what happens when you know, to my brain or something when kids start being born, but I would straight up start crying on things. I'm like, what is going on with me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just watching this commercial and this butter commercial, and now I'm crying.
Yeah.
But it's then obviously I started realizing, I was like, oh, maybe I was, you know, bottling things up inside of me, and just not letting it come out.
Yeah.
And it can make you ill. It can make you ill in some sense, you know. It's a very, you know, I think things are more talked about these days. Mental health is a big thing, and people talk about it, and people share about it more openly. But yeah, I think, and again, I think especially growing up, that was something that was taught. Just don't show any emotion. Just you know, don't start crying. Don't start crying. Just hold it in. And you obviously had validation. It's like, good boy. You held the cry in. You're validated for that. So you ended up learning that you know, somewhat, because, you know, all those things, you know, boys don't cry and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. You know, life goes, you know, life happens, and you sometimes start pondering about things, and you start wondering about the whys. You know, why was that? And why did I have that reaction? And you know, why am I feeling so angry inside? And where is it coming from?
Yes.
You know, again, being a parent, I started, because I had no training or course on how to be a father or something like that. I started replicating things that were done with me, because that's the only training I had. That's the only training we would have as, you know, as human beings. The way I was treated. And then when I started treating my kids the way I was treated, I was like, I don't know about that. Then I had to at one point stop and was like, well, where is this coming from? I'm like, I don't actually like this. And I was treated like that for the longest time. But I never had the voice, for example, to say, hey, I don't like it, or sort of, or something like that. But now I'm replicating this with my kids. And they're not saying, hey, Dad, I don't like it. But as an adult, I'm like, well, this ends here. It's going to end with me. I'm going to do it differently because I can now, clearly see that it was not good for me. I'm not going to pass it down.
That's a real key insight, because I think a lot of people take an approach of like, well, this is what my mother used to say, is what my father used to say, and this is how I'm going to be, and but to actually stop and say, well, it's almost like, I'm not going to say it's a generational curse, but it's to be able to say that's no longer going to be handed down.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like that's I'm gonna hand down a different legacy.
Yes, and obviously, growing up, I've had wonderful things to take away from my upbringing, for example, and things that I still apply up until this day, which are good things. But then I think you've got to stop a little bit and just think, why am I actually doing this? Why am I doing things this way? Where is it coming from? Because I remember, maybe my mom did it, maybe my dad did it, or maybe this person who looked after me did it like that. But it's not exactly the best thing to do, or the best way to do it. And again, it's a different thing, because you said we're talking about trauma, for example, briefly. You mentioned trauma. What can be traumatic to you may not be traumatic to me, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So you never know. You never know this sort of things, and it takes at least for me, it took me sitting down and putting these things before God. Said, Lord, sometimes I don't even understand myself. I said, Lord, where is this coming from? Just search me, just help me out here, Lord. I think I need some ironing, and I don't know where this needs to happen. And surely enough, Spirit shows you this is because of this and that. And it's wonderful to have that sort of connection with God, that sort of relationship, where the words of God shows you where you're falling short, for example, or where you could be better, not only for yourself, but for those around you. Because let's face it, we don't live alone, do we? We live in with interaction. We interact with other people.
Yeah,
we interact with other people.
In the community, even if we sometimes are a little bit distant, but we just have to work
distant, yes, we are called to be agents of God's grace, whatever we are, to whoever it is, believers or not, or whatever, the background of the person. We are supposed to be those agents of God's grace to people around. So it's it'd be nice if we were well tempered and treated inside of our illnesses, even those illnesses we don't know we have.
Indeed, and more sort of integrated with our all our emotions, and not afraid to kind of share them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which is difficult. It is difficult to be in touch with no, I'm angry because this happens, and that's very clear to me why I'm angry, or I'm sad because this event happened, and I'm unsettled because like that gospel song says, I have a fear that someone's always there. And if you've heard this Christian song before from that band called Iron Maiden.
I'm wondering what you were quoting there, Iron Maiden, because you said Fear of the Dark. You said the quotes, and I was like, Christian band. It's like, I'm trying to think, like, that's Iron Maiden. Is there a Christian band that sings that? No. And yeah, I knew it was Iron Maiden. Yeah. I got a funny story about that, but I think I shared it on another episode, but it was someone else. But I once played Iron Maiden at a life group.
Yeah.
And I was never asked to speak again.
Oh.
it's another story, but yeah, I used to be a big fan of Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Then I kind of had a conviction about it and got rid of all my albums and everything. And then I had another revelation about it. It said, "Oh, you can enjoy the music, but just don't be absorbed in it."
Yeah.
So kind of went sort of in a circle. I found.
Yeah. It's a.
God. But the interesting thing is the drummer Nico Bailey, I think it was. He was a Christian.
Was he?
Yeah, or he became one. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me really, because if you see these lyrics throughout,
Oh yeah, they're really influenced by.
there's a lot of influence there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they take it here and there, take it with a grain of salt, sort of thing. But you can clearly see that there is something there that oh, I've seen this before. This is from the Bible, or sort of thing. It's like that. That's I don't know if you're going to agree with this one, but there's a song, I think it's Coldplay that plays it. It's Viva La Vida or something. I used to rule the world, but I don't know if YouTube is going to take it down.
Yeah, I don't know. But that one. Yeah.
The lyrics just caught up my attention.
I think there's a lot of artists that are inspired by. Yeah. They're inspired by the Bible and Christianity. And they're using it to sell an album, sell a record or whatever, sell a song. But there's an inspiration there, and I don't think you can deny it. Even if you want to deny the premise and deny it, Jesus is Lord. There's you cannot get away from it.
No. So what we're talking about stories, for example.
Yeah.
We're always going to come back to. I need salvation. I need to be understood. I need salvation. I need acceptance. I need progression in my being, and that's only through Christ. So, you can try it. There's many other tools, let's put it like that, to help you progress in your life and yourself. But Christ is the only thing that actually can, change your being. The Holy Spirit is the only thing that can convict you from what's right and what's wrong. It's not this or that theory. So we're always going to come back to that. And I feel like these bands, they're always going to be taking these themes and either twisting it to, to somewhat positive or to somewhat negative, but it's always the same reoccurring themes of, it's
indeed. So, first question then is: would you rather experience a fake British summer with 60-degree weather, or Bethlehem winter with 40-degree heat?
Fake British summer all the way.
Yeah, I think you answered that one early on. Yeah.
No, Belém is there's two seasons. One season that rains and one season that really rains. So, and it's always hot. So, fake British summer.
Did you say Belém?
Belém, yeah.
Because I was saying Bethlehem.
Yes, it's the English version of the name.
Right. Okay.
Belém is
Belém. Okay. Yeah. Okay. As long as I wasn't saying it completely wrong. If you had to choose between never drinking Santa Clara coffee again or only being able to eat tapiocas instead of bread for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
So no coffee?
Yeah. Or tapioca instead of bread?
I think I'd stick with the coffee. Yeah. It's hard to say no to coffee.
Get rid of addiction, huh?
Yeah, it's hard to say no. I've said no to coffee many times, and I went a time without having coffee altogether. But it's just, I don't know, it's just, for me, it's a flavor. It's the flavor, it's the smell. Yeah, I could live without
I was talking to a couple of Mormons the other day, and they don't drink coffee at all, apparently, because it's an addictive substance, so they don't do any addictive substance. It's interesting. I can find I only drink sort of one caffeinated coffee drink a day now, maybe two, but I have to switch to decaf.
No, this is the thing. I think they're getting good with decafs now, especially with the beans and the I think with coffee. Yeah, I'm sort of used not to having tapiocas. There's a shop in town that sells tapioca, and we sometimes have it, but I'm used without it. So, coffee is the answer there.
What's one Brazilian tradition from Belém you wish the UK would adopt? And what's one British thing that you've discovered here that you definitely shouldn't take back to Brazil?
Siestas.
Siesta. The afternoon siesta.
That interval.
Just doesn't get hot enough here.
That big interval, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's one thing I miss, actually, having a big interval.
Yeah. So it's more like just having a sandwich at your desk in the UK, isn't it?
No, if you think about it, if you're working in South, for example, and you live in Rugby, and you've got 2 hours for lunch, what can you do in 2 hours?
Bit of a siesta, yeah.
You can go back home.
Bit of a nap,
proper food. You can have a shower. You can catch up with your favorite show, have a 15-minute nap, and then come back to work.
Yeah. Sounds like life. Convincing us to move to Brazil. But then you miss out on the beautiful British weather, wouldn't
you? Exactly. You can't have everything, isn't it?
What wouldn't you take back to Brazil with you from England?
What would I take back?
What wouldn't you?
What wouldn't I? I quite like it here, actually. I think it suits my personal culture, British culture. So
if you so there's nothing you would leave behind. You just you'd bring.
I think realistically speaking, I think I would struggle to reintegrate to the Belém way of being. I think there's one thing, for example, that it was. I'm not sure now. I suspect it still is very common. It's people talking to you and touching you at the same time.
Well, back in Brazil, right? Yeah. Very affectionate.
Hey, how you doing? You're right.
Definitely not.
And I'm like, why are you touching me so much? Man, just stop touching me. sort of thing. That thing. I'm way more British in this sense than. I remember my brother-in-law came here once, and he was talking to me. Like, hey, how you doing? Oh, by the way, just I said, mate, you're touching me loads. So what would I leave here? I don't know. I have to think about that. I think never thought about it before.
So going back to your name,
So without any English input in my name is Rodolfo, Rodrigues, Aleixo Silva. So there's 3 surnames there. I've got no middle names, 3 surnames. So the way things works, I think they still work like that, is that when you get married, the woman's mother's maiden name leaves, and then the husband's father's name comes in, and that constitutes a new name, a new family name. Let's put it like that. Right. So I married Fernanda. My last surname is now her surname. So her surname now is also the surname of all our kids.
Yes.
So
right. So wait, she has your surname, or your father's surname, but your children have her surname.
Have her surname, yes, not my surname, but hers.
It's
a bit confusing.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit confusing. Yeah, I think it's especially confusing here.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it's like whose kids are these? Oh, I don't know. It's like I don't recognize their last name.
Or pharmacy, for example. We're got to go to the pharmacy. Pick a prescription. What's the name? Right, okay. Do you want the date of birth? Let me give you my date of birth, and and this is my name. Oh, okay. Because if I give out Silva, for example, because I think it's the easiest to pronounce, Silva, it's normally not under Silva, or it's under was it Alexio? So it's not. No, it's not Alex. It's Aleixo. And I've tried many times to explain that it's fine.
We don't have enough. Saying that we do have some other Brazilians. We have Rafael and Bal as well, but we don't have enough Brazilians there. I think this is to make it.
Yeah, it's like my name. My name for some reason sometimes is difficult to pronounce. Rodolfo.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but I know I was calling you something else I kept getting your name wrong Roberto.
Roberto, yeah.
No, for a little while,
Yeah.
I knew it was Rodolfo. I kept going Roberto. It's like,
Yeah,
no, I mean,
I've had it all. I've had Rodolfo.
and then you told me just call me Rod, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's easy. I
Yeah,
can do
Rod is Rod. Yeah, Rod, Rudy. I've been called Roddy before.
Roddy.
Rodney.
Rodney. Yeah, that's
Yeah, the most popular is Rudy. So Rudy. Yeah,
Rudy.
fine. Yeah, Rudy.
just anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
We know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, that's interesting, and yeah. So it was great. It was great talking to you, Rodolfo, getting to know you. There's just one more question we have to ask all our guests. So if you rock up to the pearly gates of heaven and St. Peter hands you a disposable camera, what's the second picture that you're taking? And ask the second picture because everybody goes, oh, I'm going to take a picture of Jesus, me and Jesus, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, like, no, you can't take a picture of Jesus.
Yeah.
What's the next picture you're taking?
That's a good question. What picture would I take? I think I would take a picture of everything I could frame into the. Is that a panoramic function?
Panoramic function. Maybe, yeah. We'll let you have a panoramic function.
If that function is there,
best camera.
I'll probably take a panoramic camera of everything I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that fresh impression of everything. So that's what I would do. I think.
Cool.
Get a panoramic of everything, everybody.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. It was great getting to know you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Well, thanks for joining us once again and listening to that podcast episode. We hope you enjoyed the content. And if you haven't already, subscribe, whichever platform you're listening on or watching from. And we'll catch you again for the next episode of Life Explored.